Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. And I had a few of my subscribers ask about Guardian and how good he is, how he works, whether he is playable for story content, all that. So I put some vignettes together a little bit about how well he is. Of course, we're going to go after the Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, but we've got a few other punching bags that I've added into the mix, and we will take a look. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Again, we've got our Guardian. He's pretty beefy at 61,000 health. He is a SIG level 200. We've got all the same synergy team we're going to be doing. Now so here's his stat block. I do want to point this out. This is his stat block for his awakened ability. So he gets a massive bonus to his block proficiency, a massive bonus. Look at that, almost 9,000 to energy resistance. His bleed resistance is essentially 80%. 80% right there. Look at that. And his crit resistance goes way up too. So this is a level 200. He needs to be, I would say, around 120 SIG level for him to be really, really effective. And the other thing that I want to point out is that he doesn't land critical hits. He does instant shocks. While all of Guardian's abilities are below 100% accuracy for 3 seconds or more, he inflicts a shock automatically, and he can trigger parry through non-contact attacks. That's pretty massive. So he gets an armor up. This buff is removed. It'll return. While he has the armor up, well-timed blocks against special attacks grant 100% perfect block chance over half a second. And then each perfect block grants 10% of a bar of power. That's really nice. And then they're going to talk about the force field. So here's the force field. Last indefinitely up to 3 charges. Additional ones last for 22 seconds. Gain a force field every 12 seconds. But because we have Mole Man, I think we get them 3.5 seconds faster. So we get them every 8.5 seconds. If our armor up is up, we have a 15% chance per force field charge to auto block all hits from an opponent's special attack. That's awesome. So if we got 3, we've got a 45% chance. This chance goes up against mutants. So this is where he's good against mutants. He is very defensive against mutants. So what that means is that if we've got 3 force field charges, we have a 90% chance to auto block hits from a special attack. And then this auto block can reach 75% max and is considered well-timed block. So it's only 75%. Consume 1 force field to block unblockable special attacks against mutants. So that's things like Bishop's Special 2, and a few other champs have some unblockables as well. And then also if they have unblockable nodes. So that's a big thing. On the 4th light attack, you do consume some things, so I normally don't use that 4th light attack at all. So, all right, so let me hit the play on this real quick. So first off, we're going to take a little bit of a look at his kit, but I also have this team, and we're going to talk about some of his synergies too. And this is actually not a bad team to use in a story sense itself. So let's go through this a little bit here. So here I'm putting the team together, and I'm going to talk about the synergies first. So the first synergy we have is with himself. So all champions except for Guardian get a bump to their block proficiency. So there is that. Now we brought Wolverine in, and Wolverine actually is a double synergy with this champion. So one is all champions except for Guardian. The first 3 blocks have a 100% chance to be perfect blocks. Next, we bring in Sasquatch, who is a member of Alpha Flight with him, and so that's why it says Alpha Flight, and that's why they have a good synergy team. So Guardian, whenever he gets a well-timed block, he inflicts a shock debuff, dealing 50% of attack rating as energy damage over 2 seconds. And you'll see throughout most of these fights, I have a lot of these shock debuffs going. All right, and then we've got each time Guardian has 0 force field charges. That is his shtick. His currency are the force field charges. And he gains a charge, you gain an additional charge. And this is a synergy with Mole Man, which is pretty awesome. So that's why we do that. Everything on him is based off of those force field charges. And lastly, here is the last Wolverine synergies, which gives us a bump to our armor rating. And finally, we've got the synergy with White Magneto, or Magneto House of X. So all hero champions get a bump in their attack rating, which is pretty good. And Guardian is going to gain force field charges faster than he normally does. So instead of the normal, I think it's every 4 or 5 seconds, he gains them every 3.5 seconds. So, and that, again, the force field charges are his shtick. And then there's the, and then everybody, because there is a synergy between Wolverine and White Magneto, we get a bump to our perfect block chance. All right. So now we're going to come in and we're going to fight Winter Soldier from Realm of Legends. And as this fight goes, we're just going to go into the fight. And you're going to see, so Guardian doesn't crit. When he would crit, instead, he does a shock, instant shock. And you're going to see that as soon as he starts hitting. So there's one right there. So that's an instant shock. You can see it. We've already parried him, so he's got a shock over time on him from our synergy with Sasquatch. But this is a light attack, which just did 5,990 instant shock damage. Now, this is a 6-star, rank 5, awakened, and ascended. I have a 7-star who is awakened, but he needs to be very high sig. That gets him all of his various resistances and also makes him recoil friendly because, as you can see here, I have recoils on. So I've got double edge and liquid courage on. So I'm taking bleed damage and I'm taking poison damage. But because of his SIG ability, which makes him super resistant to bleed damage, he is actually regenerating more than the damage he is taking, which means he will, and this is from willpower. So because he still has the debuff on, but because the willpower is healing him because of the debuff, and he has massive resistance to this amount of damage, it lowers it enough that the amount that he regens is higher than the amount he normally takes. So we're going to keep going through this, and you can see that he is doing 1,031 damage a tick in that constant shock damage that he's doing from his parries. And so we're going to build up to a special 3. There's another 5,990 instant shock damage. But what we're doing here is we're building up to a special 3, and we're slowly building up these force field charges. So there we just got 2. Instead of getting 1, we got 2 because of the Mole Man synergy. We want to have 3 or more. So we're going to keep going. And then there's the 9,344 from a medium on instant shock as well. So we're going to work our way up to a special 3, which is going to give us a whole bunch of the force field charges. So there we just got 3. We didn't get an extra one because we already had some. So you have to have none. So now we're going to hit the special 3 here. So we're hitting it. I let it go all the way through. And you'll see at the end of this that we went from 3 charges to 10 charges. And we're still getting more. So these are important because they allow us to do a bunch of shock damage with a special 2. Now, let's watch as he builds back up to a special 2. So you can see we're taking virtually no damage. Now, the bleed is gone, but the poison is still there. So we're taking a little bit of damage. We're taking 186 points of damage per tick, and we're healing back 177 from willpower. So we are taking a little bit of damage from the recoil. And then, I mean, literally he's doing no damage to our block. So let's see if we can see how much damage he's doing to our block here. We're going to hit the special 2 about right now. There's 14,000 and there's 76. There were two iterations of 76,000 and an iteration of 21,000 because of this instant shock damage, and he just went down hard. And that's it. That is the end of the fight. So how long did that take? Now that took a minute 10, 62 hits, and 51, over half of the damage that was done to him was done with that instant shock type damage. And we're still at 98% of our health. Okay, going to be this is, I believe, 8. This is 8.4.2. Old Man Logan, 95,000 champ. And this guy has some nodes on him. Again, it's the same rotation. We're going to work up to a special 3, and then we're going to work up to a special 2. He has some particular things on him that I'm trying to avoid, like he's got some unblockable stuff as well. So you see, we already parried him, and because of the Sasquatch, we've got this shock on him already, which is doing 1,478 shock damage. And I saw there was a 7,500. There it is. 7,755 instant shock damage, so that was a crit. Now because of the node and because of the weapon here, he put this soul barb on me, but I'm taking damage from the soul barb, but I'm still at 352 because of this and because of my resistance to that bleed damage. So that is an important thing right there. So we're going to keep going, and we're going to build up to that special 2. And usually there was just 12,000 points of damage right there. So we're going to keep going. And he's regenerating a bit, but that's okay. And right now we took his weapon. And so in this one, I believe it's if we get 15 hits, the weapon is disabled. And then once we hit him with our relic, then we take the weapon away. And he's going to get a soul barb on him pretty soon. And we've got 3 of our force field charges already. Okay. And he gets these placebos, which really don't matter. So he does that. There's an unblockable there. So you see more of that 75. And then we're going to hit the special 3, which is going to increase our force field charges, which is our shtick/currency. So we're up to 10 now. There they are. We've got 10 of them. He's got this soul barb. This is soul barb damage that he's taking right here, 24,000. And so we've got a massive amount of those. So we're good for any kind of auto block that we might need. And he's gone. We didn't really have to do anything else there. That was gone. Once we got that soul barb on him, he was finished. Okay. So, and how long did that take? And how much damage did he take from various things? So, let's see here. That took 41 seconds, 39 hits. And most of his damage looks like some of that damage came from shocks. And almost half that damage came from that soul barb. All right, let's take a look at. And this is going to be in Act 8, Chapter 4, Quest 1. And Gambit's over here, so we're going to go that way. Just want to make sure. Okay, yep. And we're just going to go ahead and now he gets a bunch of unblockable stuff, so we have to watch. And I do make a mistake here. I do get hit. But we ended up recovering. So you saw 12,000 there. Let's see if we can. And he's taking 15, 16 from that, from the parry. There's a 169. And there's an unblockable. We're going to get out of the way of that. And so there's the 1609. That's from the parry Sasquatch synergy. And there's a 13,169. So that was from a medium attack that was a crit that turned into a shock for those instant shocks. So we're going to hit him with that. There's no weapon on this. So I think we're going to hit the special 3 here pretty soon. There's the special. There's another 13. There's a 10,000. We're going to hit it right. Oh, I wanted to get him to a special 2 because his special 2 is easier to dodge. Okay, here we go. We're going to hit the special 3. There's the special 3. We're going to go through that. And so before the special 3 went off, we were at 4 force field charges. And we had some Furies. These are part of nodes in this. And then we had some, I think those are energizes. Those are here too. So we're going to hit this again. Here we go. We got the 12% damage. And he was stunned a little bit. He's at a special 2, so we got to avoid. And that's where I got hit. So we're at 59, and we need to sucker him into doing that. Okay, so we baited him in that, and then he's got. So there's this. There's a crit, 10,626 damage from a light crit, and he's also taken 511 damage from the Sasquatch synergy because we parried him. And we're going to work our way up to a special 2 if we can. And, oh, the other thing to mention is this node, we can't use specials unless this number says. So right here, I would need to use a special 1, which we're not going to do. So I delayed using that special 3 until that number 3 came up. And because if you didn't do that, if I used a special like 2 right now and this said 1, then it wouldn't like do any damage whatsoever at all. So we want to make sure we match up. So I'm waiting for that. So now we're going to go to the special 2 because the number 2 is up. And there's a 16. So I did a 29,363 instant shock. And that is from these 13 different force field charges we had. So here we go again. There's 16,000. There's a 29,000. And then he was basically gone after that, so we didn't do very much damage after that at all. So all in all, that was a minute 21. It was a minute 21 because we had to wait for the node circulation to happen so we could get the right special attack to happen. But this guy took 18% damage from shocks, 37%, this is from the instant shocks. So 18% was from the synergy I had with Sasquatch, and 37% came from instant shocks. And this successful hits were 68 hits. I received 3 hits. I made a mistake there. So all in all, pretty good. Not a bad go. He is awesome against mutants because of his defense. He has a lot of recoil. He has tons of resistances. His armor ups are great, and he auto blocks like a beast. So he is a great champ. He is going to be within my top 10 tech champs. So, all right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody.